Hello everyone, welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. We've almost reached the end of the Fairweather Friends trophy. We've successfully sided with the Templars and still kept Dorian. The next step is twofold. Recruit the remaining companions, Ironbull, Vivienne, and Blackwall, and gather enough power to begin Wicked Eyes and Wicked Hearts to reach Halamshiral and get the trophy. Since the last video, I've done a lot of the tedious legwork. I ran all over Skyhold to collect codex entries. I burned through all the available war table missions, including Acquire the Anarchist and Specializations for the Inquisitor, both of which are instant completions even without cheating the system clock. I've gotten rid of the spoils of Avar armors that I've been using since the beginning of the game, and crafted new ones for the Inquisitor, Cole, and my mages. I used the duplication glitch, which I'll be showing later, to get 10, give or take, additional amulets of power for Solus, Varric, and Cole, and I have a stack ready for Blackwall once he's recruited. I haven't duped enough to fill out their skill trees completely, just enough to spec them out a little closer to how I normally would by the end of the game, only much earlier so that I can enjoy the builds more instead of just at the end. I bought all the accessories I need from the Black Emporium. I upgraded a few items from the potion station. I went through all the companion dialogue that's currently available in Skyhold. I didn't bother recording that because that just by itself is, I don't know, an hour and a half worth of dialogue. But I did save the conversation with Cassandra because it's the Inquisitor discovering her secret passion, which is one of the best aspects of her character and a really great bit of scripting. So we're going to start off by talking to Cassandra, then grab my specialization quest. The plan since the beginning has been to create an Artificer tank, and we're almost there. I still need to collect a few key items for the build before we can start testing it out. But before we get to that, we'll go to the Storm Coast to recruit Ironbull, head to Vivienne's soiree, and return to the hinterlands to get Blackwall. And at that point, we'll be able to start knocking out quests to gather enough power to get into Halamshiral. So as you can see, we've got a lot to do. Let's get to it.
Good book?
Ah! I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, are you blushing?
What would I have to blush about?
You tell me.
It's of no interest to you, I'm certain. It's a book.
I can see that.
It's one of Varric's tales. Swords and Shields, the latest chapter.
So you like to read? What's wrong with that?
It's frivolous. There are more important things for me to do.
She's read this one 3 times.
You! I told you to stop spying!
You read it out loud to me. I don't like the captain either.
I never did that. It's literature. Smutty literature. Whatever you do, don't tell Varric.
Maybe I should read that book.
You? No!
Why not me?
You're the Inquisitor.
Oh, I see.
They're terrible. And magnificent. And this one ends in a cliffhanger. I know Varric is working on the next. He must be. You could ask him to finish it. Command him to... Pretend you don't know this about me.
I could have sworn that the rogue specialization quest givers were up here on the rampart, but that must be the warrior specialization quest givers, which means the guys I'm looking for are going to be down in the courtyard. There we go.
Our mounts have never had better.
This is a fine fortress. It's very quiet. I wonder if you tire of quiet. I am the King, Inquisitor. I bring the Maelstrom, the Tempest. Are you interested?
You've told me nothing. How can I know?
Then you can sit and wait, or you can leap. They say you're in charge. I say, from where? From the thick of things? From the fore? That's how you create victory. You wade in, smash a glass, make a mess, and change the battle from within. You may think you now lead, but when you're the Tempest, you're someone to follow.
Why would this suit me?
It suits you if you make it suit. There's no way to make elemental chaos sensible if you're not the type. The enemy will know you're coming, but like a boat before the storm, what can they do besides batten down and pray? The Tempest leaps where they shouldn't, and makes the battle fit them. Is that you?
Very well. Let's see where this leads.
Grand. But first, we set the conditions. This instruction, the first and least, will show the path your storm will take. Small steps, Inquisitor. The last of the calm.
You're the Inquisitor, hmm? Honored. Don't ruin it.
Ruin it?
By pretending to something you're not. If you want things just so, what I have to teach will be lost on a fool. Your people asked for an artificer. My name is Three Eyes. Let's get started.
I'm ready. Let's get tinkering.
I don't tinker. Grandfathers tinker. The artificer builds for battle. We survive through detail and efficiency in equal parts. What some forget is that artifice, not artistry, sets the better snare. Save the soul for a showpiece. You don't want to love your toys so much that you're picking rivets off the field. Makers need some distance, dignity.
What makes this better than other disciplines?
Nothing beats the preparation of a good trap. Let a child rush about the field. I know where my enemy is forced to be. That look in their eyes when they know they've lost, it's all the sweeter when they don't even know why. We control, we shape, we command. The fool who fights the artificer dreads every step.
I'm ready to start learning.
You need tools. And to walk some simple paces. Here are instructions to follow. You're last, so far as I'm concerned. After this, you instruct the course of every fight. If you've the patience.
I received a bird. It had a note. Now I am hidden.
You're here to train me?
Ah, that is it. The Inquisitor wishes to become more than Inquisitor. Perhaps he wishes to walk in shadow, even as he is bathed in light. To save life through inflicting death. Childish notions. The profession of assassin has no time for it.
Your profession has my respect. I'm eager to learn.
Really? We shall see. Let me first say he does not want to be an assassin, any more than he would wish to be a sword or a cudgel. Such are the weapons of others. They lack intent. He must become his own assassin. There is a difference. Let me next say, death has nothing to do with it. Death is the payment, the byproduct. Our way is between life and death. It is a door through which he will send others.
I'm ready to start learning.
He is willing. Will it always be so? There are tasks, processes, ways to train the mind.
So when you're
and
picking your specialization
require
quest, you
simple
can pick
motion.
up the quest from all
First
3 of the
steps.
quest givers if you want to
Then we shall see what
complete
he
them
may
for the
become.
extra experience, but you can only turn in one to one of the teachers to get that specialization. So I'm picking up all of them just so you can see the dialogue. And then whatever specialization you decide to go with, one part of the recipe is to find a book about that specialization. Now, if you, all of your companions cover all the different types of specializations that you can be. So if you have the companion who has that specialization, you just go to whatever area of Skyhold they tend to hang out in, and you'll find the book for that specialization there. If for whatever reason you haven't gotten that companion yet, or they've gotten too much disapproval and they've left, there is a merchant in Val Royeaux that sells all the different books, and you can just go there and buy it. Since I'm doing an artificer, I'm going to go to where Varric usually hangs out, which is in the main hall, and the book is right here on the table. Keep in mind that I waited to recruit these last 3 companions because of the Fairweather Friends trial approval modifier, and wanting to avoid major disapproval hits for each of them. If you're not running that trial, you can pick them up anytime you want. It's really hard to lose a companion normally, so that's not something you really need to worry about. Before reaching Skyhold, when you don't have access to the specializations, the companions in each class are more or less the same in terms of how you can build them, so go with the characters you like. After Skyhold, however, it's a different beast entirely. For the tanks, Cassandra's Templar specialization is a little niche. It's best suited for magical enemies and Fade enemies. Iron Bull's Reaver specialization is this game's Berserker, and the game's AI doesn't really manage its mechanics well. So the Berserker class is best suited to be played by the player as the Inquisitor, or by switching over and just controlling Iron Bull directly. And finally, Blackwall's champion is the tank of tanks. It's the best all-around tank setup in the game. On Nightmare, I tend to run Blackwall or Cassandra depending on the battle, and on any lower difficulties, I almost always run Iron Bull for the whole thing.
Dispatch for you.
What is it?
This may be worthwhile.
Chargers! Stand down! Prim! How'd we do?
5 or 6 wounded, Chief. No dead.
That's what I like to hear. Let the throat cutters finish up, then break out the casks. Inquisitor, glad you could make it. Come on, have a seat. Drinks will be here in a minute.
Iron Bull, I presume.
Yeah, the horns usually give it away. I assume you remember Cremisius Aclassi, my lieutenant.
Good to see you again. Throat cutters are done, Chief.
Already? Have him check again. I don't want any of those Tevinter bastards getting away. No offense, Krem.
None taken. At least a bastard knows who his mother was. Puts him one up on you Canary, right?
So, you've seen us fight. We're expensive, but we're worth it. And I'm sure the Inquisition can afford us.
How much is this going to cost me exactly?
Wouldn't cost you anything personally. Unless you want to buy drinks later. Your ambassador, what's her name? Josephine. We'd go through her and get the payments set up. Gold will take care of itself. Don't worry about that. All that matters is we're worth it.
The Chargers seem like an excellent company.
They are, but you're not just getting the boys. You're getting me. You need a frontline bodyguard. I'm your man. Whatever it is. Demons? Dragons? The bigger the better. And there's one other thing. Might be useful. Might piss you off. Ever hear of the Ben Hasra?
I've never heard of it.
It's a Canary order. They handle information, loyalty, security, all of it. Spies, basically. Or, well, we're spies. The Ben Hasrath are concerned about the Venatori. Tevinter's bad enough without some crazy cult making it worse. I've been ordered to join the Inquisition, get close to you, and send reports on what's happening. But I also get reports from Ben Hasrath agents all over Orlais. You sign me on, I'll share them with your people.
You're a Canary spy, and you just told me?
Heard a lot of stories about Haven. No idea which ones are true. But I get that this Corypheus guy needs killing. So whatever I am, I'm on your side.
You still could have hidden what you are.
From something called the Inquisition. I'd have been tipped sooner or later. Better you hear it right up front from me.
What would you send home in these reports of yours?
Enough to keep my superiors happy. Nothing that'll compromise your operations. The Canary want to know if they need to launch an invasion to stop the whole damn world from falling apart. You let me send word of what you're doing, it'll put some minds at ease. That's good for everyone.
What's in these Ben Hasrath reports you're offering to share?
Enemy movements, suspicious activity, intriguing gossip. It's a bit of everything. Alone they're not much, but if your spy master is worth a damn, she'll put him to good use.
She?
I did a little research. Plus, I've always had a weakness for redheads.
All right, you're in.
Glad to hear it, boss. Krem, tell the men to finish drinking on the road. The Chargers just got hired.
What about the casks, Chief? We just opened them up with axes.
Find some way to seal them. You're Tevinter, right? Try blood magic. We'll meet you back at Skyhold.
For the mages, Vivienne is typically my go-to. Her character is a bit of a bitch, but the Knight Enchanter specialization just kicks ass. Her barriers will be better than Solas's and Dorian's, and you can switch to her as a backup tank if the shit hits the fan, and she gets the only real heal skills in the game. Between Solas and Dorian, I don't really have a preference kit-wise, but I am a fan of Dorian's Necromancer's ultimate ability that speeds up all of the party's attacks for a certain amount of time. Solas's ultimate is a Meteor Strike, which is a targeted AE, and more than once I've seen larger enemies just move out of the AoE, making Solas's ultimate just something that's really cool to look at.
A pleasure, sir. We so rarely have a chance to meet anyone new. It is always the same crowd at these parties. So you must be a guest of Madame de Fer, or are you here for Duc Bastien?
Are you here on business? I have heard the most curious tales of you. I cannot imagine half of them are true.
What have you heard about me?
They say Andraste herself delivered you from the Fade to battle the old gods for the fate of the world.
I'm not familiar with that name. I was invited here by First Enchanter Vivienne.
Madame de Fer is a fond nickname the court has given Lady Vivienne.
I've heard she finds it amusing.
I've heard very little about Duke Bastien.
He hasn't been seen much at court lately.
His business with the Council of Heralds often takes him from home for long periods. It can't be good for a man of his years.
And of course, there's the civil war. Bastien probably wishes to distance himself from the actions of his one-time son-in-law.
Tearing up the Dales in a foolish bid for power? It will end in disgrace for Gaspard. Everyone knows it.
Some of those storytellers may have gotten carried away.
But only for the best effect. The Inquisition is a ripe subject for wild tales.
The Inquisition. What a lot of pig shit. Washed-up sisters and crazed seekers. No one can take them seriously. Everyone knows it's just an excuse for a bunch of political outcasts to grab power.
I brought the Templars back into the fold.
You rounded up a bunch of dazed lyrium addicts. Well done. Am I supposed to applaud? We know what your Inquisition truly is. If you were a man of honor, you'd step outside and answer the charges.
My dear Marquis, how unkind of you to use such language in my house to my guests. You know such rudeness is intolerable.
Madame Vivienne, I humbly beg your pardon.
You should. Whatever am I going to do with you, my dear? My lord, you're the wounded party in this unfortunate affair. What would you have me do with this foolish, foolish man?
The Marquis doesn't interest me. Do whatever you like with him.
Poor Marquis. Issuing challenges and hurling insults like some Ferelden doglord. And all dressed up in your Aunt Solange's doublet. Didn't she give you that to wear to the Grand Tourney? To think all the brave chevaliers who will be competing left for Markham this morning, and you're still here. Were you hoping to sate your damaged pride by defeating the Herald of Andraste in a public duel? Or did you think his sword would end the shame of your failure? Run along, my dear. Do give my regards to your aunt. I'm delighted you could attend this little gathering. I've so wanted to meet you. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Vivienne, first Enchanter of Montsimard and Enchantress to the Imperial Court.
Charmed, Lady Vivienne.
Ah, but I didn't invite you to the chateau for pleasantries. With Divine Justinia dead, the Chantry's in shambles. But the faithful flock to your banner, pinning their hopes on you to deliver them from chaos. As the leader of the last loyal mages of Thedas, I feel it only right that I lend my assistance to your cause.
You say you led the last of the loyal mages. Loyal to whom?
To the people of Thedas, of course. We have not forgotten the commandment, as some have, that magic exists to serve man. I support any effort to restore such order.
So you're in favor of returning the mages to the Circle, then?
Where else can mages safely learn to master their talents? We need an institution to protect and nurture magic. Maker knows, magic will find neither on its own.
What exactly can you do for the Inquisition?
I am well versed in the politics of the Orlesian Empire. I know every member of the Imperial Court personally. I have all the resources remaining to the Circle at my disposal. And I'm a mage of no small talent. Will that do?
Does that mean you'd be aiding the Inquisition from the Imperial Palace?
Ordinarily, I would be happy to serve as liaison to the court, but these are not ordinary times. The veil has been ripped apart and there is a hole in the sky. It is now the duty of every mage to work towards sealing the breach. And so I would join the Inquisition on the field of battle.
What's in this for you?
The same thing anyone gets by fighting this chaos. The chance to meet my enemy, to decide my fate. I won't wait quietly for destruction.
Are you devout? What's your opinion of the Chantry?
I was a great admirer of the late divine Justinia V. The Chantry, at its best, unites the disparate cultures of Thedas and looks after its most vulnerable. Had she lived, Justinia could have accomplished so much.
You say you led the last of the loyal mages. Loyal to whom?
To the people of Thedas, we have not forgotten. I support any effort to restore such order.
The Inquisition will be happy to have you, Lady Vivienne.
Great things are beginning, my dear. I can promise you that.
Sarah is the rogue goddess. She's your ultimate rogue. Specced out properly and controlled by the player, she can one-shot almost all of the game's dragons, and she can work equally well with daggers or bows, though the best one-shotting that she does is typically with the bows. Cole is just solid damage all around, and like Sarah, he can go daggers or bows equally well. Varric, on the other hand, he's a mixed bag, and he's probably the worst AI-controlled rogue companion. If you're going with his character story, he's made to use Bianca, a crossbow, and therefore he should be a distance fighter. But all of his skills are more geared towards getting close to the enemy, which should be daggers. And on top of that, he has the Artificer specialization, which has a bow-specific ultimate. So if you're running daggers, you can't even use that. And going back to the topic of Bianca, if you're crafting all your endgame gear and going for top-tier damage, Bianca's going to fall short of the damage that you can get from other crafted bows. But Varric can't use other crafted bows, he can only use Bianca. So in order to get him to top-tier damage, you have to go daggers, which again is going to cancel out the ultimate that he gets from his specialization.
than 20 a day, and we'll bring our own gear. Bandits are hungry. These men were not hungry.
Remember how to carry your shields. You're not hiding, you're holding. Otherwise, it's useless.
Blackwall. Warden Blackwall.
You're not... How do you know my name? Who said... Ah! That's it. Help or get out. We're dealing with these idiots first. Conscripts, here they come! Make them come to me! You're dead, bastard! Dead! I wasn't here to fight. Stop and think. Too late for that! You know! Sorry, bastards. Good work, conscripts. Even if this shouldn't have happened, they could have... Well, thieves are made, not born. Take back what they stole. Go back to your families. You saved yourselves. Your Inquisition. What do you want?
My name is Inquisitor Kadash. I lead the Inquisition. We're investigating whether the Warden disappearance is connected to Corypheus and the Divine's murder.
Maker's balls, that's a mouthful. Wardens and who? And he killed the Divine? That makes no sense. I heard something about a dragon that looked like an archdemon and something about old god heresy. But that's just madness. No. Inquisitor or not, you must have it wrong. This Corypheus or whatever is insane or lying. I've never even heard his name. But one thing I'll tell you, no Warden killed the Divine. Our purpose isn't political.
I'm not here to accuse, not yet. I just need information. I've only found you. Where are the rest?
I haven't seen any Wardens for months. I travel alone, recruiting. There's a little interest because of Haven, but with no real blights, there's no point conscripting. Treaties give Wardens the right to take what we need, who we need. These idiots forced this fight, so I conscripted their victims. They had to do what I said, so I told them to stand. Next time, they won't need me. Grey Wardens can inspire. Make you better than you think you are.
Why haven't you gone missing like the rest of them?
Well, maybe I was going to. Or maybe there's a new directive, but a runner got lost or something. My job was to recruit on my own. Plan to stay that way for months. Years.
I wasn't aware Grey Wardens could take whatever they want.
It's complicated. If there's a blight, everyone has to help the effort to fight it. The treaties are ancient. Outside of blights, it's as binding as a clever tongue can make it.
Do you have any idea where the other Wardens could have gone?
Maybe they returned to our stronghold at Weishaupt? That's in the Anderfels, a long way north. I don't really know. Can't imagine why they'd all disappear at once, let alone where they'd disappear to.
So the name Corypheus means nothing to you?
Well, now it means I want to kill it. But I'd never heard the name Corypheus before you said it.
It's been a pleasure, Warden Blackwall, but this didn't help at all.
Inquisitor, hold on a moment. With this dragon and that thing...
Corypheus.
Right. I know my order had nothing to do with that, but it sounds like we should. And if I'm one of the last, I should help. I mean, whatever he is, if there's any connection to Blight, you need a Warden.
The Inquisition needs all the support it can get. But what can one Grey Warden do?
Save the fucking world if pressed. Look, maybe fighting demons from the sky isn't something I'm practiced at. But show me someone who is. And like I said, there are treaties. Maybe this isn't a blight, but it's bloody well a disaster. Some will honor them. Being a Warden means something to a lot of people.
Warden Blackwall, the Inquisition accepts your offer.
Good to hear. We both need to know what's going on. And perhaps I've been keeping to myself for too long. This Warden walks with you, Inquisitor.
Alright, so now we've got all the companions. The next step is to knock out a big chunk of the remaining Hinterlands quests and gather enough power to start the next story quest, get into the Halamshiral Ball, and finish up the Fairweather Friends trophy. And we'll cover that in the next video.